Let me begin by telling you something powerful. No one ever achieved great success by accident. No man or woman ever stumbled into greatness without first having a clear, definite idea of what they were after. If you wish to attract success into your life, the first and most essential step is to know exactly what you want. Not vaguely, not generally, but with absolute precision. Success responds to clarity. It gravitates toward the person who has made up their mind and who has refused to accept anything less than the fulfillment of that desire. You see, a drifting mind can never command the forces of success. A man without a clear aim is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by the winds, moved by every wave, and eventually lost at sea. But when you have definiteness of purpose, when you know what you want down to the detail, your mind becomes magnetized, your thoughts gain direction, your actions gain meaning. Your energy is no longer scattered. It is concentrated and focused on a single outcome, and that, my friend, is the starting point of all achievement. It is not enough to say, I want to be rich, or I want to be successful. That is wishful thinking. The universe does not reward vague hopes. You must decide how you want to be successful, in what area, by when, and what you are willing to give in return. There is a price for every dream, and you must be ready to pay that price someday, not when it's convenient, but now. When you make that decision with boldness and clarity, you begin to activate unseen forces that begin working in your favor. Every truly successful person you admire began their journey by getting crystal clear on what they were chasing. They did not sit and wait for opportunity to knock. They identified it, claimed it in their mind, and walked toward it with purpose. They wrote their goal down, they repeated it daily, they visualized it. They lived and breathed it. And in doing so, they became the kind of person who attracts success naturally, not because they were lucky, but because they were prepared. Now, I want you to consider something. Right now, at this very moment, are you definite about what you want? Have you written it down? Do you review it daily? Or are you waiting for things to figure themselves out? Because if you're waiting, you're delaying the moment success begins moving toward you. When you become definite, life begins to respond. Opportunities begin to appear. People begin to show up. Your path begins to unfold. But that clarity must start with you. Definiteness of purpose gives your life meaning. It fills you with energy. It makes you resilient. When failure strikes, and it will, you will not fall apart, because your purpose is strong enough to hold you together. You will get back up, not because it's easy, but because you have something worth fighting for. And each step, each setback, each small win will bring you closer to what you have already decided belongs to you. So I urge you, do not wait another day wandering without direction. Decide what you want. Be bold about it. Be specific. Make it so clear in your mind that no one, not even you, can talk yourself out of it. Because once your purpose is definite, the path to success will no longer be a mystery. It will become inevitable. And that is the first step to becoming the person who attracts success. Once you know exactly what you want, once your purpose is definite, the next force you must awaken is desire. Not a passing wish, not a mild preference, but a burning desire, a fire so hot that it consumes doubt, fear, and delay. Because no matter how clearly you define your purpose, if there is no heat behind it, no passion driving it forward, then it will remain a lifeless thought locked inside your mind. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. It is the heartbeat of every success story. It's the invisible force that moves mountains, builds empires, and transforms ordinary men and women into giants. You have seen people rise from nothing, no money, no support, no apparent advantage, yet go on to do extraordinary things. And if you look closely, you'll find that what fueled them was not luck or chance, but an inner flame that would not go out. You must develop that flame within yourself, and it doesn't come by accident. It begins the moment you allow your mind to truly believe that what you want is possible and that you are worthy of it. That belief, repeated and fed daily, gives rise to desire. And as it grows stronger, it takes root in your subconscious. It becomes the dominant emotion behind your thoughts, behind your actions, behind your very being. I am not speaking of shallow wanting. There are millions of people who want a better life, who say they want more money, more freedom, more success, but wanting alone achieves nothing. Wanting is weak when compared to desire. Desire says, I will have it no matter how long it takes or what it requires of me. Desire refuses to quit. It finds a way when there appears to be none. It turns failure into fuel. It turns struggle into strength. And here is the truth. Success will not come to the one who merely wishes for it. It will not bow to the lazy or the lukewarm, but it will come to the one who demands it with all their heart, the one who wakes up with it on their mind, who speaks it with conviction, who moves toward it with purpose every single day. That kind of person cannot be stopped. That kind of person is a magnet for opportunity, for growth, for achievement. Your job is to fan the flames of desire every day. Write your goal down and read it aloud morning and night. Picture yourself already in possession of what you seek. Feel the joy, the pride, the relief, as though it is already real. The more real it becomes in your imagination, the stronger your desire will grow. And when desire reaches the point of obsession, you will find yourself doing things you never thought you could do. You will persist where others quit. You will keep going where most give up. And remember, this desire does not depend on your current circumstances. It does not ask if you were born rich or poor, educated or uneducated, connected or alone. It only asks if you are willing to feed it, to nurture it, to let it take over your thinking until it becomes part of your identity. Once that happens, you will no longer be chasing success. You will become the kind of person success cannot ignore. When you ignite a burning desire within yourself, you set in motion a power far greater than any obstacle you may face. Once your desire is burning strong and your purpose is clear, the next step is to take control of the one thing that will shape your future more than anything else, your mind. You must begin to think like the person who already has what you seek. You must learn to think in harmony with success, because what you hold in your mind, you will one day hold in your hand. That is not theory, that is fact. Thoughts are powerful. Every action, every result, every change in your life begins with a thought. And the kind of thoughts you consistently entertain will either move you closer to your goal or silently pull you away from it. So the real question is, what are you allowing yourself to think day after day? What kind of images are you holding on to? Are your thoughts filled with confidence, belief, and determination, or are they filled with worry, doubt, and fear? You cannot attract success while holding on to failure in your mind. You cannot expect abundance while constantly thinking of lack. The mind does not work that way. Whatever you dwell on, you attract more of. So if you want to change your life, you must start by changing the way you think about yourself, about your goal, and about what is possible for you. You must begin to believe, truly believe, that success is not only possible, but inevitable for you. Now, belief doesn't always come easily, especially if you've experienced setbacks, if you've been told you're not enough, or if your surroundings keep feeding you doubt. But belief is not something you wait for, it's something you build. You feed it with repetition. You strengthen it by surrounding yourself with the right thoughts, the right voices, the right energy. You remind yourself over and over that your thoughts create your reality, and that you are the master of your thoughts. The moment you shift your mindset from "I hope I can" to "I know I will," everything begins to change. You walk differently. You speak with more conviction. People start to respond to you in new ways. Opportunities begin to notice you. You begin to act not from fear, but from faith. And that faith, backed by action, backed by desire, backed by clarity of purpose, that is what draws success to you. One of the greatest gifts you have is your ability to choose your thoughts. You can choose to think in terms of growth instead of limitation. You can choose to focus on possibilities instead of problems. And the more you choose wisely, the more your entire life begins to reflect the quality of your thinking. This is not about ignoring reality. It's about shaping it, starting from the inside out. And here is something you must never forget. Your mind cannot hold two dominating thoughts at the same time. You must choose which one stays. Will it be fear or faith, doubt or belief, scarcity or abundance? You cannot hold on to both. When one grows stronger, the other must weaken. So choose to strengthen the thoughts that serve you. Nurture them, speak them, live them. And they will become the foundation on which your success is built. Once you learn to control and direct your thoughts, you become unstoppable. Because success is not something you chase at, is something you attract by the person you become. And that person begins in the mind. As you shape your thoughts and fuel them with desire and purpose, there is another force that will either accelerate your journey or quietly sabotage it: the people you surround yourself with. You may not realize it now, but The environment you live in, the voices you listen to, the conversations you entertain, they all have the power to lift you up or pull you down. And if you are serious about attracting success, you must become intentional about who has access to your mind and your energy. You cannot walk the path to greatness while keeping company with those who doubt your dream. You cannot expect to rise while surrounding yourself with those who constantly settle. The truth is, you become like the people you associate with most. Their habits rub off. Their mindset leaks into yours. If they speak of limitations, you will begin to think in limits. If they laugh at ambition, your own will slowly shrink. But if they talk about growth, about goals, about vision and responsibility, then your spirit begins to match their rhythm. One of the most powerful things you can do is to align yourself with people who are going where you want to go, people who push you to think bigger, people who challenge you, not out of criticism, but out of belief in your potential. These individuals form what I call a harmony of minds each person, bringing energy, insight, and belief that strengthens the whole. And when two or more minds unite in the spirit of growth and mutual purpose, something extraordinary begins to happen. Ideas come faster, courage grows stronger, plans take form more clearly. You stop walking alone and begin moving as a force. This kind of association doesn't happen by chance. You must seek it out. You must be willing to walk away from the company that drains your ambition, even if it's familiar, even if it's comfortable. You must rise above the need for approval from those who do not understand your vision, because your future depends on it. It takes strength to walk away from mediocrity, but it takes even more strength to keep company with excellence. Now, I am not saying that you must cut everyone out of your life, but you must become the gatekeeper of your mind. You must decide who speaks into your life, who gets your time, who influences your perspective. This is not cruelty, this is wisdom. The right people will help you grow. The wrong people will make you question your ability to grow at all. Find people who speak possibility, even when the odds seem low. Find people who refuse to make excuses, who are more focused on solutions than problems, who don't just dream but take action. And as you find these people, become one of them yourself. Be the kind of person who lifts others by your energy, by your discipline, by your example. Because in doing so, you not only strengthen yourself, you become part of a circle where success is the natural outcome of shared belief and effort. Success is not meant to be pursued in isolation. It is drawn more quickly when you are in the right environment. When you are surrounded by people who expect more of you, you will begin to expect more of yourself. You will rise to meet their energy, and you will become the kind of person others look to as proof that success is not only possible, it is inevitable. And that is why who you surround yourself with is not a small decision, it is a defining one. Once your purpose is clear, your desire is burning, your mind is aligned, and your environment supports your growth, there is one more step that turns vision into reality: action. And not just any action, persistent, purposeful action. Success does not respond to a quick burst of effort. It responds to steady, disciplined movement in the direction of your goal, no matter how long it takes and no matter how difficult the road becomes. You've probably heard the phrase, knowledge is power, but knowledge means nothing without application. You could study every success principle, read every book, listen to every mentor, but if you don't act on what you know, it will stay buried as unused potential. Action is what brings your vision into the world. It is the bridge between what you think and what you live. And the most powerful action is the kind that doesn't depend on how you feel. It's the kind you take because your purpose demands it. The truth is, many people start strong. They get excited about a goal. They make plans. They feel motivated for a while. But the moment things get hard, the moment progress feels slow or invisible, they stop. That's why most people never succeed. They move only when it's convenient. But the person who attracts success keeps going when it's inconvenient, when it's hard, when there's no applause, no instant reward, no one watching. That kind of persistence, quiet, steady, daily, is what separates those who succeed from those who only wish they would. If you study the journey of anyone who's achieved something worthwhile, you will see a pattern. They didn't stop. They adjusted. They improved. They got knocked down, but they stood back up. Over and over again. Persistence is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It's the act of saying to the world, you will not outlast me. It's showing up even when nothing seems to be working, because deep down you know that the results are coming. That success, even if delayed, is still on its way so long as you refuse to quit. Now, persistence alone is not enough. You must also be purposeful in your actions. That means everything you do, every move you make, must be aligned with your definite goal. Don't mistake activity for progress. Busyness is not the same as effectiveness. Don't waste your time chasing distractions that feel like work but move you nowhere. Every day, ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to my vision? If it is, keep doing it. If it's not, stop. That kind of honesty will save you years. Purposeful action also means learning from your results. When something doesn't work, don't call it failure. Call it feedback. Study it. Adjust your strategy. Stay in motion. The path to success is rarely a straight line, but if you keep moving, learning, and improving, you will get there. Most people give up just before their breakthrough. They let a few setbacks convince them that it's not meant to be. But those setbacks are not stop signs. They are tests. And your persistence is your answer. Action transforms you. Every step you take builds confidence. Every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you reinforce a belief in yourself. You stop being the person who just dreams and become the person who does. And that shift, that inner change is what attracts the outer results. Because success doesn't just come to those who plan, it comes to those who move, who persist, who endure. So let no day pass without action. Let no obstacle go unchallenged. Keep moving forward, even if it's slow, because success does not belong to the one who moves fastest. It belongs to the one who refuses to stop. There is one final piece to this journey, one inner quality that ties everything together, that fuels your persistence, protects your purpose, strengthens your mind, and gives your desire a solid foundation to stand on. That quality is self-discipline. And without it, all the clarity, all the passion, all the plans in the world will collapse the moment difficulty arrives, because success will test you. It will not come easily, and it certainly will not come to the undisciplined. Self-discipline is the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the ability to choose long-term reward over short-term comfort. It's what keeps you on track when distractions whisper for your attention, when excuses feel justified, when no one is watching. Discipline is what makes you consistent. It turns intentions into habits. It turns effort into momentum. You cannot become the person who attracts success without developing discipline, because success requires sacrifice. It requires control. Control over your time, control over your thoughts, control over your emotions. The undisciplined mind reacts to everything. It gets pulled in every direction. But the disciplined mind, led sit, directs every part of you toward one aim, and it refuses to let emotion or impulse take the wheel. And discipline doesn't mean living without joy. It means living with focus. It means choosing what matters most over what feels good in the moment. It means saying no to things that steal your energy and yes to things that build your future. Every time you do this, even in small ways, you strengthen your will. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, others start to trust you. The world begins to open in ways it never did before. But self-discipline alone is not enough. You must also develop unwavering faith. Not faith in luck or chance, but faith in yourself, in your purpose, in the power of your mind to create your future. Faith is not blind. It's deeply rooted in belief and backed by action. It's the quiet confidence that, even when the evidence hasn't appeared yet, your success is already on its way. That kind of faith gives you power. It keeps you calm when the storm comes. It reminds you that temporary setbacks do not equal permanent failure. You must have faith that your work is not in vain, that every effort, every sacrifice, every early morning and late night is laying the bricks for something greater. And that even when you cannot yet see the results, something is happening, something is building. But that faith must be fed. You feed it by visualizing your success every day, by speaking your goal into existence, by surrounding yourself with people who believe as deeply as you do, and by moving forward, especially when it's hardest. When discipline and faith come together, you become unstoppable. You begin to operate on a higher level, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you've